Today I'm going to make cucumber sandwiches for an afternoon tea I'm having for my mother-in-law. I'm going to start with some cream cheese and some sour cream. It should be mayonnaise, but when I looked in the refrigerator there was no mayonnaise. So I'm going to substitute sour cream today and we'll see how it is. I think it should be fine. But it's about a block of cream cheese and a couple of tablespoons of sour cream today. I'm gonna mix that just a little bit with my mixer. My cream cheese was soft, so it's mixing very easily. And then to the cream cheese mixture, I'm gonna add a quarter of a cup of finely grated carrots. I did them on this plane, so I'm getting very fine carrot gratings. I'm not measuring it, but I'm eyeballing it, but that's about a quarter of a cup. I'm also gonna add a tablespoon of chopped parsley. This is a little bit chopped already, but I'm going to give it a quick finish up so that it's fairly fine. And I've got some walnuts toasting right now in my toaster oven. I'm going to add about a quarter of a cup of those in just a moment. Let's put these in. I'm also going to add just a tiny bit of seasoned salt. My recipe calls for, I think, about a teaspoon, but teaspoon is just too salty, so I'm just putting a tiny sprinkle in there, and then I'm going to give it a quick blend. See how it's turning a really pretty orange color. Alright, my walnuts are out of the toaster oven, and I'm just giving them a quick little chop. I want them fairly fine, and then I'm going to put about a quarter of a cup in with this mixture here. I've scraped down the sides of the bowl, and it's looking really good. It's a really pretty orangey kind of color. It reminds me of a color of shrimp salad when I make that. Also, while I finish chopping up these, I'll tell you about my cucumber. I use English cucumbers because they are, for the most part, seedless, and they make an easier cucumber to deal with. I know a lot of us grow cucumbers in our gardens, but I prefer to buy mine so that I don't have to deal with the seeds. A lot of times I make my sandwiches open face, so I'm looking for a really nice sliced cucumber that's not mangled in any way when I slice it. And if I had to take the seeds out, it wouldn't be as pretty. So this is an English cucumber that I've purchased, and you can see the middle has essentially no seeds. So I'll show you later how I assemble my sandwiches. I don't want to put them together quite yet because I want to prevent them from drying out. So I'll work on that in a little bit, and I'll show you how they're going to look all put together. So here are my walnuts. I think I have a little more than a quarter of a cup, so I'm not going to put them all in. Let me give this a quick blend. Get this out. Looking really good. And that is it. There's the filling. It's very simple as long as your cream cheese is already soft. And there we go. Okay, we're back, and I'm ready to start assembling our cucumber sandwiches. I've got my cucumber. I've done a few slices already. A plain, I think, works the best for getting nice even slices. And you can see how easy it is to just take them down it. And I get these nice thin slices. I'm laying them on paper towels because I want them to drain just a little bit. And this might be enough slices for today. Would you hand me a paper towel, please? I want to lay one on the top and just press out any of the extra water so we don't end up with soggy sandwiches. So I'm going to let those sit for just a moment. I'm using very thinly sliced bread. This is actually Pepperidge Farm, and a lot of times I'll use the white very thin, but today I'm using the wheat. I'm going to just barely slice off my crusts. That'll be a snack for somebody. And I'm going to take a little bit of this filling that we made a few minutes ago and just spread it. Doesn't that look good? You can see all the the colors in it, the parsley and the carrots that make it very colorful. Let's put a little bit more. I've got plenty of filling. Okay. And then I'm going to take a couple of these slices and I'm going to lay them sideways just like this. And I'm going to barely overlap them like this. And I'm going to leave a tiny edge of the sandwich. And then I'm just going to, hopefully, I can do this without tearing them up. I'm going to slice through. We'll straighten up our cucumber. And so that's the start. Now what I'm going to do now is take a teeny dab of the filling and put it right there on top, and that's going to be a little bit of glue for me. And then I'm going to grab a little piece of parsley. That one doesn't look quite so pretty. These have been washed and in the bag for a couple of days. But I'm going to take a tiny little piece of roughly looking parsley and just put it right there in the sandwich. Here we go. There are two. I usually make, depending on how much food I'm serving as a savory item, sometimes I'll make 3 of these little finger sandwiches for each person that will be sitting at my table. It's just my mother-in-law and me today, and she is not a very big eater. So I think a couple of these little slices of bread is going to be plenty, because we're going to have some other things as well. We're going to keep it really light today as far as savories go, but I think this will be delicious. So I'm going to do one more sandwich and let you see again how it goes. Take that slice. And when you lay it, it's really pretty when you slice them. You get the dark green color showing as well. And I'm kind of pressing them in so that they stick to the filling. Okay. Another little slice here. This is not the best knife, but I think I left the knife I would normally use at an event the other day. So I'm going to put another little dab of filling as my glue on there. Another little roughly piece of parsley. And these look really pretty. I'm going to put them on this little plate here and probably cover them with some saran until time for tea, and then I will be putting them on my tiered serving tray. So there you have it, cucumber sandwiches. I'm going to walk you around my tea table that I have set for my mother-in-law today. Now if you notice, there are three place settings. My father-in-law is coming over too. I don't know if he wants to join us for tea, but I have a place set for him. If he decides not to, I'll just take up a place. But I'm using small plates, 6 to 7 inch. These would be considered dessert plates. And so for afternoon tea, these are the appropriate size. I'm using a salad size fork or a dessert size fork, because our tea foods are all going to be tiny bite size. And so you use smaller utensils as well. You'll notice that I'm using silver. I've pulled out my my china. I'm using a mixture of different types of china today. This is a very eclectic table. I love to mix it up, and I've been collecting now for a few years. So you'll see I'm actually going the easy route today and using some paper napkins that are really pretty, but all of my napkins were used at a tea that I participated in 2 days ago, and so they're all still in the laundry. I've got a lovely spring teapot that goes with it, and I usually set my teapot on a little plate so that any drips that start here will hopefully run down and land on the plate and not on this beautiful linen. I'm using some sugar cubes. I really like to use sugar cubes instead of granulated sugar, and I think they're really pretty for tea, and the ladies feel special. I've got some really pretty little tongs that we'll use. I've also put out some sugar substitute in a sweet little rabbit container. In my creamer, I will be using whole milk. That's the kind of milk you use for a tea, not half and half, and not a skim milk. So that will be going into this little creamer in a little while. This is my very small and dainty serving dish. I just picked this up. Isn't that sweet? And I'm going to put some cucumber sandwiches on the bottom and a couple of desserts, and then I'll fill in with a few more desserts up top and maybe a few little clusters of grape. My menu today is very simple, so I don't need a lot of serving pieces. This little silver tray is where I will put probably 4 small lemon scones that I have, and they will be warmed and served warm. So before my mother-in-law joins me at the tea table, I will remove this little tray and I'll bring it out when we serve the scones. These 3 little dishes here are for some little condiments that will be served with the scones. I'll have lemon curd in one dish, I'll have some jam in another dish, and then I'm going to have some Devonshire style cream in the 3rd dish. And those are all wonderful accompaniments to the lemon scones. I'll be serving ginger peach tea today with our tea menu, and I'll be brewing that right before we sit down. It doesn't take that long to brew in the teapot. And so this is my very simple tea menu today. I set the table very quickly. I try to keep everything clean and polished, and thankfully, because of the tea I was involved in this week, everything is freshly polished and washed. So there it is. This is my simple afternoon tea to honor my mother-in-law for Mother's Day.
And guys, if you want more videos like this, make sure to leave a comment down in the comment box below, and make sure to hit that subscribe button for more.